And yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought for sure I was going to be a professional football player.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
All those years on the bench, getting
Listen,
the crowd hyped up.
Listen, one of my coaches was Bobby Jack Harmon. Saw him the other day. Terrible what he went through. I feel bad for Bobby Jack. Super good guy. It was Mr. Haslacker who passed away. Wes is Garrett's dad.
Yeah, Garrett's dad.
Mr. Fincham. Mr. Black. I don't know if he's. It's funny because
I haven't seen Mr. Black.
well, I told someone I was at Harmon School today, and I'm like, it's funny because one of the school teachers said, I'm 40 years here. I'm getting ready to retire. And I said, that's great. Of course, I don't know. Maybe she said I'm close to retirement. But I said, it's funny. When I was in high school, there was teachers I thought were like close to retirement.
You do.
And now, 30 years later, I come back and they're still teaching. I'm like, how are they teaching?
Mrs. Props.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that. I'm like, I thought Mrs. Props was old when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And nothing personal against Mrs. Props.
Funny
I like
when
her.
you're young, how you think
Everyone's old.
Oh, everyone's old.
I'm like, Mrs. Because someone said, and this was like 3 years ago, she's still the cheerleader coach. I'm like, what? She's a cheerleading coach when I was in high school. So it is funny how that works. But the main priority is education.
Yeah.
It's not extracurricular.
Lose sight of that.
And what percentage of kids actually become professional athletes? It's such a small percent.
It was less than 1%.
Yeah.
It was so tiny. It was.
I think I have a greater chance of losing weight.
Probably than you becoming an athlete. Definitely that.
I'm not going to become an athlete at this weight, just for the record. But anyway, so
yeah.
But that's kind of an update. That's where we're at. Thank you, board. Put the power back in the board.
Yep.
You hired everybody in that school. You hired.
Yeah.
They work and I don't want to say they work for them, but they're accountable to them and to the public.
Yeah.
Which in the government world we seem to lost the accountability to the people who pay them.
We have lost it.
And last thing, I keep pounding this. Patrick Morrissey.
Yes.
So
I love what he's doing.
They were bashing him, and I'll tell you my thoughts. So tell me this week because he just got voted in. Elected. He got not elected.
His inauguration day. Installed, I think is what they're called.
Installed, yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So what did he? What was the first thing he did?
So one of the things he did was he hasn't done it yet. He's announced that he's going to do it. I don't think he signed the executive order.
Scholarship.
Well, but where you can have a religious exemption for vaccinations.
Yep. Will we be the only state for that?
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're actually coming in line with other states from what I read, which shocked me. Which here the liberals have lost it.
They're pissed.
They are pissed.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if your child is vaccinated, what do you have to worry about?
No, they're worried about because
we are destroying the narrative. Thank God people are waking up. But here's the thing.
Yes, they are.
They keep saying, now we're going to have mass outbreaks and my child is going to die.
Your child
was vaccinated. If the vaccination is effective,
you won't.
What are you worried about?
But that's not true because we learned that if you have the COVID vaccination,
you can pass it and
get it. And we were told by Fauci before he started being Oni-vax, if you get COVID, you have the strongest.
Yes.
The strongest
immunity.
Thank you against it, and that's true. If you got
which flied in the face of every term, herd immunity. Always, when you get it, your immunity is better. Now, it's coming out. Those people that got that COVID jab, guess what?
Some challenges.
The challenges are terrible. So that's one thing. And then the Hope Scholarship.
Yeah,
he would like to up it to $10,000.
That's going to piss off people.
Which I am for. School choice. He is school choice.
Yeah.
School choice is what makes education
better. Agreed.
They don't get that because they're lazy in their jobs.
They don't get it because they've been paid by the government. In other words, so McDonald's has a Burger King, right? Yes. And what does that mean? It keeps them both better.
Yes.
And so competition. And I've told people who've reached out to me, I said, just so you know, I'm pro school choice. My kids are in public school. Your kids are homeschooled. I said, I'm pro-choice. I think the parents should make the decision. I agree with the money because
now I go even farther.
Well, I would expect that of you.
I want to get rid of the Home Scholarship.
The Home or the Hope?
The Hope Scholarship. I want your tax dollars to follow your child.
So 60% of your property tax.
60% of my property tax goes to me as a homeschool.
So the reason why that's hard to do is because some people homeschool and don't own a house. So that wouldn't be as beneficial to them.
But they would still own a car, maybe,
yeah, but
or
that's
whatever.
That's not smart. I mean, as a homeowner, I get why you're saying that.
Yeah.
Because that's a big number, obviously. So I think they should have choice, and I agree with what Patrick's doing thus far. You know, I don't know everything's
and
done.
here's the thing. They said, because I did this study, because their thing is, the Hope Scholarship has ruined the schools. Look at the amount of people that we've lost.
Yeah. Why have you lost them?
So you know what? All you have to do is Google. The average rate... The Hope Scholarship has been around for ages, by the way.
I've heard like over 10 years.
It's been longer than that.
Really?
I gave you the exact year. I can't remember. But the Hope Scholarship, it was like 15 or 20 or 25 years. It's been around for a while. The average rate of homeschool students in West Virginia has been steady at like 3.4%.
Until what year?
Steady. Until 2020.
What happened in 2020?
2020, COVID hit.
And what happened
Parents
then?
were at home.
Doing what?
They saw the curriculum. They saw the woke agenda. They saw what was being pushed in our schools. I'm not blaming the teachers because it's being pushed.
That's what they're required to teach.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
Which is another story that we can get into. And the parents have said, I'm not having my child in a school being brainwashed.
So that's...
and it jumped up over double.
Correct.
Over
in
double.
West Virginia's now is over 6%. I think
it's higher than that. It was like it was almost 8%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, because I had a conversation with Dilly,
which puts us in we're like top 5 for homeschool states.
Dilly and I had a conversation about that a little bit, and so I think, and I've said this: why has the school? And I said the same thing about Grant County, because they're all needing money because kids are leaving the schools. Mm-hmm. And then people, and even some of the people that were talking Tuesday night talked about legislation and Patrick Morrissey, and he wanted to fire teachers for they wanted to fire teachers for who went on strike, which was funny. Which I think
because it's illegal
may be the case.
Yeah.
So
not allowed to strike.
So the interesting thing about it is that if you're offended by pro-choice, it tells me you don't want to make your system better. Let me do my system. Let me pay the people. Let me just leave me alone.
What they want to do is they want to tell me, well, you can do your system, but I still want your money to prop up my system because I'm not effective in my system.
Yeah. Well, more and more kids. Listen, if they would shut down Harmon and Pickens, one thing they never talked about in their financials were how much money are we going to lose because of kids leaving. And there was, out of 104, was it, in Harmon that were in the school, I think it was 104. I knew of at least over 20. So Brad said it was $8,000 per student.
That's, I believe, state level. I don't know what that would be. Or
he told me total. I don't know if that's true. He told me total.
No, they get more than $8,000 per student because they get taxes. It's total operating, federal, state, and local money.
I get that.
I think they all they tell you is their school aid formula to cry poor mouth.
It may have been that, but even then, let's just say it's $8,000, they would have lost $160,000 with 20.
And listen, I've sat through the meetings with the state, and a lot of people don't know this, going over the state aid formula where they were trying to increase it. But the problem is, it's not a state aid formula problem; it's a spending problem. And the over-bloating of administrative positions, which we're going back to again. If you cut the administrative waste, when we're telling that secretaries have secretaries for people that don't need secretaries.
Most people have a secretary in the front office. Most.
You don't need a secretary.
Most.
You don't need a secretary. If you haven't figured out how to program your voicemail by now, you probably shouldn't be in the position.
You use voicemail?
Your voicemail's on your phone.
You must have an Android. I use smoke signals.
So. You must have an
iPhone. I have an iPhone. But no, I mean, I think that the concept is that we pushed homeschool and public school and charter, they should be pushing each other to be better for the kids.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept of competition.
The public school should want me so bad that they improve themselves so that I go,
no, they don't.
There's no need for me to homeschool
Listen,
anymore.
but they don't. The funny thing was, in talking, that's never part of their conversation.
No.
You would think they'd have a session. Maybe we should ask the Board of Education members to do it. Have a session where you talk about how do we get back the number of kids back into our school because they went and they were homeschooled.
Invite what was it? 400 kids? Did we find out what the number was of homeschool
In Randolph?
Why did 400 pop in my head?
They lost 10% of their population. I think that was around 400.
Okay, and
I
we don't know if they're
forget.
homeschooled. But why don't you put a call in to every one of
Have
those?
them all come out to a meeting.
Have them all come out to a
and
meeting
tell
and
you
just
why.
say, why did you leave? What can we do to get you back? Is there anything we can do to get you back? If there's nothing we can do to get you back, then you can leave. You don't have to stay. But if there's something we could do to get you back, tell us. What can we do?
Yeah.
We're not, but they won't. They will never do that. And people are always said, we're negative. You're not giving solutions. We give solutions in every one of our podcasts, but people don't want to put in the work.
Listen, the
for
Board of
solutions.
Education could do that. They could say at this upcoming meeting, the president could put it on the agenda because she writes the agenda, and she could say, we're going to talk about why we're losing students. And some of it is population decline, and that's hard to affect.
Some can be.
That's hard to affect.
Yes.
But I'd be having a conversation around why did you leave the school? How do we
I
go
doubt
wrong?
all
Well,
the
because
kids was population decline.
no, it's not that. I'm saying part of it was population decline. But if they would have that, the reason they won't have it is because people are going to tell them how bad the schools are.
Yeah.
And it's going to make
And they
them
don't
feel
wanna
bad.
hear that.
But they need to hear it. Listen, I got to tell you, I've not been perfect at my job every day. Trust me. So if I screw up and I can meet the customer and say, what went wrong here? What did I miss? Justin, you did this. A lot of times I didn't even realize I did it.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
Listen,
I'll fix it.
I'll
you
tell
know?
you something that happened to me today. And now I'm going to be transparent because it bugged me at first. So we booked pool parties last year for the pool this year. The pool prices have changed.
Yep.
And so there was one person out of everyone that booked, there was one person I did not have a contact information on.
Phone number.
Yes. Not a phone number, just a way to contact. Because a lot of people it's through Messenger, Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay.
Or I know them personally, so I can, whatever. One person, and I did not know. And I've been trying to get them. And my wife said, just put it on Facebook. If they know who it is,
yeah,
they'll say it. So I'm like, okay. I put it on Facebook. Someone goes, you don't take the contact information when you book? And I was like, I'm going to delete this. I don't. And then I looked and I'm like, no, I made the mistake.
Yeah.
I normally did, but the person who booked the pool party was not the person that the party was for. It was a lady. I know it. It was a lady. I think it was the mom says, hey, I'm booking this pool party. Put the name in my son's, put it in my son's name because it's their pool party.
Gotcha.
I'm just booking it. And I put the son's name.
Sounds to me like you're making excuses.
No. I'm just telling you. I put the son's name instead of putting
JR.
her contact info. But the thing is, now I realize I'm like, you know what? That's smart. I need
All the time.
I need it. If it's not on Messenger, I need the phone number.
Yeah.
It's hard because your first reaction is they're coming against me and I'm the best that there is and I don't need to
Do you
be
think
told.
you're the best that there is?
Everybody does. Everybody sits back and goes, I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I do.
I know what I'm doing and I'm good at what I do, but I don't think I'm the GOAT.
Well, by the best, I'm not saying the goat, but you think you know what you're doing.
I should. I've done it 25 years.
Well, and,
you know.
and the teachers and 190 years worth of experience, they know what they're doing.
Well, that's what they want to tell you.
But that's just it. We all think that.
We have this
all
thought
think
process.
that.
It takes a very secure person to say,
You're right.
I may have missed something.
Yeah.
Help me out. Let's talk. Because to this day, I've been selling for, goodness gracious, 25, 20 years. I'm good at it. Really good at it. But there's stuff my boss will talk to me about. And until I try it, I'm like, you know what? That was a good idea.
Yeah.
So there's still stuff you learn.
Yeah.
There is.
But the thing is, we are creatures that don't like to be told we
Well,
messed up.
And we don't like change.
We don't like change. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So this is year 16 of my business that I've done. And there's still times that I go, geez, I really did.
Screw it.
I messed that up, you know. And you try not to, and you try to do better. Here's the thing. When I own my own business, I have to own all the mistakes.
Yeah. You don't blame your wife for him?
No.
I blame my wife.
But when you're in a government position where you're getting tax dollars, it's very easy to go, I don't care. Because it affects my bottom line if I make a mistake.
No, it affects you financially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. So we're pushing the board. Take back and start digging in and asking for things.
The power that you have, that you were given by the
by the people,
who
by the state code, by the people. Yes. Yeah.
And now we'll be getting calls from the State Board of Education hating that because they do not want that message to get out.
No, they want to. I mean, the guy told me last night. I said, "Why is it?" He said, "They want to control everything with their agenda." And you sit and say, "Huh, really?"
Yeah.
So
hopefully we're opening some eyes. We love you, Elkins. We love you, Harmon. We love you, Pickens.
Tigers Valley.
It's all of you, and we're not doing this. We're not doing this to like take stuff from Elkins. It's just that if you had to send your kids to Harmon, you would not like that either.
It'd be a different story. But I still say the people of Elkins should be upset about how the money's being spent.
Yes,
because they have most of the students, obviously, most of the population. So if you're like, well, we should get this. Well, if you go back and look at how money's being misspent, that money should have came to you. Everybody should get what they need, within reason, obviously. But they can be upset. But the reason why they've lost is not because Harmon's open. That's just the simple thing.
Well, that's the superintendent sowing seeds of discord, which there enough shows that he's not fit for leadership.
Well,
I would never go up to my guards and be like, you guards that do the days are a lot better than the guards that do the night, but because we have the guards that do the night, you can't get pay raises and you can't get the stuff you need. Yeah. So and then go to them and be like, you see over here, that's poor leadership.
That's divisive, and there's rumors of that. We have not been able to pinpoint stuff, but there's rumors of that happening, and you can hear it when he talks. Well, now all the kids are affected.
Yeah.
So, but listen, strongly, if I was a superintendent and this was going on, first off, he's been playing this for 6 months, but he should have came out and said to all the teachers who were trying to sign that petition, I got to tell you, this is not appropriate. This is not going to bring us together as a county. This is divisive. This is not how we fix ourselves.
We were told by somebody that he came against the ones speaking up in Harmon.
That they didn't want the school closed? Yeah.
And told them they weren't allowed.
Correct.
The teachers rep should have been on that right away.
We already talked about that. I said the teachers union should have been on that saying that's not right. You can't.
Yeah. That lady needs
but
gone.
She's friends with his wife.
But she needs gone, not from her job, but from the teacher union association side of it.
I understand.
Because she was not backing the teachers up.
Correct. And the thing that if I was a parent, I question, I told the guy this yesterday, do I want this type of a person teaching my student? Because teachers influence kids.
Oh, they do.
Beyond what the book is, they influence kids.
You took your child
out of a class,
out of a teacher's class, because you said, I don't care if she's your teacher. She's not teaching my child.
Because she was making posts online about a prayer. And we don't pray. And she was like bashing praying. And I said, I don't want her teaching my 9-year-old. So that's what I say. Whether she did anything illegal or not, is this kind of person you want influencing your child? And half the population will say yes, half will say no, right?
Half will say no. So that's the thing.
But if you don't want that, you got to speak up. I mean, we have a tendency to be so quiet.
But her job, her job is to protect
teachers,
all teachers.
Yeah,
not ones she agreed with. I had it out a couple of times. There were people that I just, you have people that you don't like that you work with.
Never.
Yeah. Normally, I'm the person that the people don't like.
I wasn't going to say that.
When I work with, but I have people that I don't like that I work with. But when it came to the union, I'm like, if that supervisor did something that is not right, I'm going to that supervisor like, buddy, you better get it straight, or I will make sure your life is miserable here. Miserable.
Yeah, so why didn't the union step in and help the teachers? I don't know.
Because she had an agenda, and there's no room for an agenda when you hold a position of authority.
Never. I can't imagine them having agendas.
Yeah. So there it is from the podcast, guys. Make sure we get your name right, which we never even mentioned.
Is that what she asked? Yeah,
she said
I'm not
something
gonna.
like that.
I don't want to mention someone's name. And I mentioned her name when I called I called the board.
And he goes, I don't have a person by that name.
I'm like, are you sure? Oh, her name is this. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, listen, nothing. Even if she said that, I don't care. If she said that.
No,
the fact is that someone called us about her saying, listen, she said the podcast guys, I want you to know this happened at the school. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Really?
Oh yeah, handing out to teachers and to service personnel.
Yeah, on the company dollar, taxpayers' dollars.
Well, the WVEA said maybe that was her own printer, her own paper she brought.
Yeah. Okay. Printer, ink. Did she bring her own ink cartridge in?
Yeah.
Did she haul her own printer from home? Hook it up. Wait, it's still the electric of the taxpayers.
No.
No matter what you do,
she has a Tesla. She ran it off of her electric car. So
no, how come I view she probably didn't vote for Trump, so she's probably not driving a Tesla?
Listen, a lot of Democrats drive Teslas.
Oh, I know. And what have they all said? We're getting rid of it. We're not supporting
They're not getting
Elon.
rid of it.
We're not supporting Elon.
They're not. Trust me. His cars are really nice.
I wonder if Elon would ever come here and do Doge here.
I think he has bigger issues.
Yeah, but he would look at it and he'd be like, shh, Big X, we don't need any of this stuff.
Well, he let go of 72% of the staff at Twitter when he took it over. Yeah.
And they're like, how do you run it? He's like,
it's running
we
fine.
haven't missed a beat.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, we're done.
I don't know what the time was on that, but
no, it's a long one.
Explore Randolph County.
I gotta go eat some Girl Scout cookies. I got my Girl Scout cookies today. They're good.
That's a whole nother story. Explore Randolph County. Everyone, thanks for tuning in.